$1.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Did someone take some of my candles?
So you mentioned that, Tino would give you a sign. I'm just curious. How did he give you a sign it's going to be a changeup? What was the sign?
It was
hand behind his back?
A wiggle behind his back with his glove. And it was kind of moving me one way or the other, but it would just tell me that, something slow was coming, either off speed or a changeup. And you could take a step towards the line against a lefty, and against a righty, take a step towards the gap.
And the other team wouldn't notice that?
Not really. It's amazing some of the things that go on the field that don't get noticed, but then every pitcher thinks that every guy on second base is picking up every pitch, right?
Exactly.
Not anymore.
If you do it too soon, maybe on the infield, like if a shortstop starts moving towards the hole against a right-handed batter too soon, a hitter might pick up and say, okay, something off speed's coming because he's playing me to pull. So, the key is the last minute. Wait till the last minute before you adjust defensively.
Cooking up something special with Hexclad. Join the hybrid revolution at hexclad.com. We told you the .291 average against the Mets. 18 home runs, 56 ribbies, and that's in 85 games. That's about half a year, so that's a pretty good season against the Mets. 1-2. Lindor takes his time and gets Goldschmidt. Here's Jason Dominguez. So Aaron Boone was asked before the game about, is he surprised with how Griffin Canning has been pitching, because the Yankees have faced him 3 times previously. And Boone was very honest, said no. He said, in fact, we made contact with him over the winter. We wanted to sign him. We could see the stuff that he's doing now. We actually, figured that out. He decided to end up going with the Mets, but the Yankees did have interest in him, so this does not surprise them.
A good pedigree out of UCLA, and he was a good college pitcher as well. Sometimes getting out of Anaheim and all the struggles out there can help you when you're on a team that's struggling. Hit new life. I love his delivery. When you talk about pitchers getting the ball out of their glove, getting your arm out and up and getting on top of the ball, he is really good at that. You watch how he separates when he gets the ball out of his glove. It's a little bit early. That gets his arm in a throwing position really soon.
And it shows you there are bargains out there. So last year, he's with the Angels, gets traded to the Braves for Jorge Soler. But then Atlanta, which is really good with this stuff, they non-tender him. Made him a free agent, and there were teams that reached out. They could see something that obviously Atlanta and the Angels didn't. Check out Coors Light beating the pressure on Griffin Canning. So he is 4th in the National League this year in ERA. And Kodai Senga, his teammate, is 1st with a 1.02. Grounded to first, backing up Alonso. He'll flip to Canning, 2-way.
Well, so far, easy play or easy pickings for the pitching. I mean, good solid sequence, good solid pitches, and really haven't seen anything hit hard on either side.
Throwing strikes, aggressive. Sometimes it's as simple as that. You hear that all the time. Get ahead in the count, 0-1. Well, it does. The pitcher can dictate the pace and get the hitters on the defensive, especially to start out a game.
Volpe takes upstairs.
One of the problems in today's game, theoretically speaking, is that pitchers are taught to miss bats. You got to miss bats. All your stuff's got to be top shelf. got to snap it off. You got to go maximum effort. But a lot of times early in the game, if you're just throwing strikes, those ground balls are going at infielders. So it's a great way to get easy outs early. And that's how you get deeper in the game. I think Max Fried has kind of mastered that style of pitching. When he needs to hump up or he needs to miss bats, he can do that. But early in the game, I can throw a sinker and get weak contact, and that can work and get me some easy outs and save me pitches.
Chop slowly. Barehanded there by Beatty, and he makes a nice play to get Volpe for the final out. Really strong play by Brett Beatty at third base. Probably the only way he could do was to barehand it and to make the strong throw to Alonso. We'll go to the third.
Ooh, I don't think they take that here.
Of course they take Discover. You're stuck in the past, baby.
You're the one who owns 13 pairs of parachute pants?
And these are my 14.
Can help to serve those who serve us. So the basis says Armed Forces Weekend. Both teams wearing camouflage caps with American flags on the side to honor the great men and women of the armed forces. Luis Torrens will lead off. Torrens started the season while Alvarez was on the IL nursing a broken hamate bone, and he did a great job behind the plate. Mets got him from the Yankees last year, May 31st. Fly ball right field. The Judge makes the play, one down.
Yankee Stadium crowd holding their breath on a fly ball to right field, right? Everybody goes silent. Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's funny. Everybody goes silent unless it's Judge or somebody on the Yankees, and then they stand up immediately.
Yes. So here's Brett Beatty. Got a great spring training that allowed him to make the Met team. Then he got off to a bad start, hit 204 in 19 games, sent to the minors on April 24th. But he came back on May 5th. He's hitting 300 with 4 homers and 7 ribbies in 8 games since returning. Now, he actually benefited quite a bit from the Mets signing Juan Soto, because Beatty used to be number 22. And as Soto's big 15-year contract, he put in his contract that he had to have 22. Had to. But still, he did the right thing and actually gave Beatty something for the number. He gave him a brand new Chevy Tahoe with a message on the back windshield that said, "Thanks for number 22.
Wow. Look at that. Cody, you changed numbers a few times, huh?
Yeah, I did. I kept wearing out my welcome, so.
No, you did. You changed your number for Hernandez.
I did. I wore number 17 after Keith Hernandez left with the Mets.
Seldom do you see pitchers, admire everyday players that much. He must have really had an effect on you.
Yeah, Keith is that kind of guy. He has that kind of impact on people. Good cut fastball there up and in from Schmidt to get Beatty.
David's old number with the Yanks. It's so funny. We were over in the other booth, and David and I were talking to Keith, and Keith is explaining something to me. He goes, these pitchers, they don't think. They're not smart. And then he turns to Coney and goes, sorry, David. Line drive caught by LeMahieu. 9 up, 9 down.
When you're playing, you'd look at that and think, see, that'd be so much fun to just go out. It wouldn't be fun anymore, Coney. I don't even think I'd get a hit in that game.
I went over there and walked around. You know where the pitcher's mound is? It's just behind shortstop of where the current Little League field is.
There's J.C. Escara as we start at the bottom of the third. So many kids that played baseball in the city, they used to play on this spot. This is where the fields for the kids were. And now we moved across the street, and where the pros used to play, that's where they play now. And those kids that are playing are dreaming to play here.
Well, I tell you what, I can relate to that. Coney, I'm sure you can too. Just growing up, just dreaming about being able to play in the major leagues, huh?
Chop slowly to second. McNeil gets a scar.
Especially playing in a Little League field right next to the Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
You don't have to look too far to dream.
And they could probably hear the cheers across the street.
I'm sure. Or the boos, depending if Soto's at bat.
True. All dirt infield. Here's DJ LeMahieu. DJ's return from that long IL stint came at the perfect time, especially with the unfortunate injury to Oswaldo Cabrera. DJ LeMahieu, there's spots for him now to play. He's going to get time.
He's got the new look now. Remember, he used to have the high socks. Got the pants down now.
Fly ball right field, going back Soto. Turning, looking, see ya! Into the short porch. 1-0 Yankees on the DJ home run.
Well, you said a welcome for DJ LeMahieu to get back in the lineup. Well, that's a welcome sight, too. And I tell you what, DJ LeMahieu does not show a lot of emotion. Going around first base, he showed emotion on the first home run of the year. I mean, what a thing to get back. Second game back in the lineup. Home run to right field.
Perseverance rewarded right there.
Been a long time since he hit one out. July 31st of last year, that was at Citizens Bank in Philly. Line drive, and the Bebas retired by Lindor. I noticed the same thing as you, Paul. I've never seen him that demonstrative rounding first base.
Well, a little four-seam fastball kind of stuck right there, but that's DJ LeMahieu, able to get the bat to the ball and just get enough. But you watch him rounding first base, you never see DJ LeMahieu, or you haven't in the past. Yeah, he wants to get things going. Good to be back.
You know, he's been hurt so much, and I always remember something that Mattingly told me. When you're hurt, you just feel like there's no value, that you're not even part of the team. So a lot of that came out rounding first.
And guys, along that same point, when I spoke to DJ LeMahieu in Seattle, he was incredibly honest. I asked him what his expectations are for him when he gets up here, and he just looked at me and said, we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. I think there's a little bit of doubt creeping into his mind because of some of those nagging injuries over the last several years. He felt good when he was in the minors rehabbing, but you just never know how it's going to translate to this level.
0-2 on Ben Rice. Rounded and through for a base hit for Rice.
As you watch Ben Rice hit this year, I mean, he's just so much more stable. A little bit open stance, able to get the bat head out there. He's hitting the ball hard, finding holes. He's shown power, 9 home runs so far.
110 miles an hour. Gets through it pretty quick, right? Even on the ground. He's hitting the ball as hard as anybody this year. Certainly top 5, top 10 at a minimum.
Pitch outside to Judge. Judge with a fly ball to right in the first inning. So the Yankees have a 1-0 lead here. The home run by LeMahieu, the first base runner for either team.
He really challenged Aaron Judge first time up with fastballs. Let him off with a slider here. Yeah, that's his second time through the lineup. You know, I'll get you out with that fastball. Now I'll start you off with a slider, then go to a changeup.
That one clipped the outside corner.
Always strange at bats, Coney. You've seen 3 pitches, and all 3 of them different. You've seen a breaking ball, a changeup, and a fastball, and now your head's kind of spinning. Where are we going from here?
He's much more unpredictable this year, and that's sort of the question you always ask. You know, okay, what's he doing differently? What did the Mets do with this guy to switch him up? What's his pitch usage? And really, he's much more unpredictable. Less four-seam fastballs, more cutters, more sinkers. Truly sort of a mix master now of 6 different pitches at a minimum. A lot more sliders.
Swing and a miss.
save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees lead 1-0. The home run by LeMahieu would only have been a home run in 4 ballparks. This one, San Diego, Houston, and George M. Steinbrenner Field, which is the exact dimensions of this ballpark. So 4 out of the 30, but he hit it in one of the 4, and the Yankees are up 1-0. Top of the Met order again, Schmidt. 1-0 on Lindor.
Still remember that big home run DJ LeMahieu hit in the playoffs in Houston. Michael and I were down there in the tunnel. We missed it because we thought the game was over, and DJ tied it up with a clutch opposite field homer.
Yeah, same spot down in right center.
Yeah, we were about to go on the field, then we ran back when he hit the home run, and then they ended up losing. We had to run back to the field.
Who was winning that race, Michael, between you and Coney? He
had the bad hip then.
Coney didn't even have a hip.
Yeah. I'm just slow as a slop, so it was a tight race. Juan Soto on deck. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 in the Mets order against Schmidt. And that's the first base runner for the Mets. So it was all setting up. On this date back in 1998, Wells pitched the perfect game, so no perfect game for Schmidt today. And not a perfect day for Soto as he continues to get booed every time he comes to the plate. Struck out in the first. Pitch outside. And there's a base hit to right field. So first 2 runners on for the Mets here in the 4th. A single for Soto, the first hit for the Mets.
This is what you're used to seeing, man. That ball's inside. How quick he is to get to it. The barrel's straight to the ball. There's no loop whatsoever. That's why he's always been able to get to that ball inside. Now Clark Schmidt, after the walk and a base hit, you got to figure out how to keep one on the ground, try to get a double play here.
Before yesterday's game, Aaron Boone went over to the Mets side and presented Soto with the American League Championship ring that the Yankees gave out to their team at the homecoming dinner a couple of weeks ago. Soto was very appreciative and happy to receive it. Here's Pete Alonso. 0-1.
Yeah, there's no wasted movement here. Hands right to the ball, easily getting to an inside fastball.
And here's Aaron giving him the 2024 American League Championship ring.
Look at that. He took it over in a Yankee gift bag, huh? That's what I bring into the ballpark every day, Michael, full of food.
Line drive, left field. Dominguez going to play it on a hop. Knocks the ball down, but Lindor's going to score. The throw comes into Volpe. It's an RBI single for Alonso. We're tied at 1.
Well, each of these balls, it depends right off the bat what route you take. And then this ball's hit hard. Cutter right there. But, you know, if Dominguez takes a route straight to the ball, he might have a shot, but he went back on it just enough where, you play it into just knocking it down. A sure single instead of going for it. Giving him a double or triple, possibly, if you don't get to it.
37th ribby for Alonso. Meeting at the mound to settle down Schmidt, who was coasting through the first 3. Then a 4-pitch walk to Lindor. Soto a single to right. Alonso a single to left. And it's 1-1. Still nobody out for the Mets.
Yeah, to your point, Paul, those line drives are tough. First and second, nobody out. That play in left field by Dominguez, according to Baseball Savant, had a 65% catch probability.
Mm-hmm.
That's not etched in stone, but this certainly gives you a baseline to kind of compare.
If your first step is horizontal towards where the ball is going to hit, you'll catch that ball. If your first step is, towards the wall, then you've lost a step to get to the baseball and played it into a single.
When that first step is back, Paul, is that an indication of tentative nature that you don't want the ball to get by you?
I can't, and it's just reps too, just over and over of seeing the ball off the bat and judging where it's going to be. And if you look at some of the really good outfielders, Judge, Bellinger, Grisham, their routes to the baseball are really, really good right off the bat.
With a Hawkeye system and the cameras everywhere, we can track all the movement on the field. You can track the jumps. You can compare, who gets the best jump. What was the probability of that catch? How much airtime it had? I mean, there's a lot of variables that are factored in that we now have information on.
Nimmo chops one foul.
The old who was the best center fielder back in the Golden area? Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Yeah.
It was just the eye test back then, right? And then who was more popular? And now we know. We can tell who the best center fielder is.
Coming up to the minor leagues, Coney, how many times did we hear that song? That's when it was at the height of
Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Terry Cashman. No relation. Strike three. Nimmo down looking.
Well, that's what you needed. You needed a big out. It's try to put a damper on this inning, and things were going well. This ball's up. He's had everything down. It looks like a pretty good frame job from Mascara.
Let me tell you something. Mascara's nice back there. Just watching him, he really receives well. He's done a nice job. The Yankees overall, their catchers. Not only do they have ex-Yankee catchers everywhere in the league, including Torrens on the Mets side, but their current catchers are doing very well framing.
Runner goes. An easy stolen base for Soto. They didn't even pay attention. Same thing as yesterday. The same thing happened, but from first to second. This one from second to third.
I mean, Soto knows he's played with a lot of people, and he just guessed and took off. And, he's you're right, Michael. This is twice in this series. And these are just statements, I'm going to try to beat you any way I can.
Yeah, one look is not enough. You got to vary your looks on the mound.
Left field. Dominguez into the corner, makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Soto. And tagging and going to second is Alonso. A sac fly for Vientos. And the Mets lead 2-1. So that stolen base looms large.
Yeah, it does. It just cost the Yankees a run, but it almost gave up 3 here. This ball was close to getting out.
Not an easy play on a high sky and right in the corner there. Yeah, you want to play outfield at Yankee Stadium? That's what you're looking at right there.
Yeah, left field in this stadium and the old stadium are always the sun field. And as it gets later in the year, it gets worse.
One and one. So a walk to Lindor, single to Soto, an RBI single to Alonso. Nimmo strikes out looking, a stolen base, a third base by